Guys, good morning. So yesterday we discussed about of web applications, right? So our focus is on web application. Being a full stack developer, our focus is on web applications. So yesterday we understood what is a URL and IP address, IP versions, and we discussed a little bit about of IoT, Internet of Things, because now you can operate any kind of electronic device with the help of IoT from anywhere in the world. Then we discussed about of different browsers and discussed about of web server and web client. So web client is browser. Starting from now, we should be able to understand the terminology used in the technology industry. Okay. Then we discussed about of internet service provider. We discussed about of the web applications models, free, premium, and freemium. Then we discussed about of difference between UI and UX. Then finally, we reached to the full stack, which consists of three parts: UI, UX, server-side coding, and database. That is a three-tier architecture, which will be, again, if multiple layers are there, like multiple backend servers or multiple databases are there, we call it as an entire architecture. Then we discussed about of dynamic web application, two types of web applications, dynamic web application and static web applications. Then we get into the few of the applications, which is web applications works in a web browser and in the mobile. So few of the examples which we found. Then we discussed about of two-factor authentication to secure your account and single sign-on to access multiple applications from the same provider. Then as part of a full stack development, so UI UX is called front end. UI UX is called front end, and whereas server-side coding and database together is called backend, right? Then we have discussed about a few of the full stack technologies currently trending in the market. One of them is Java full stack, Python full stack, MEM and MEAN. Then a standard software development lifecycle, which applies for all sort of applications, whether it might be a desktop application, web application, or a mobile application. Then we discussed software development lifecycle, and we discussed more about of agile methodologies currently, which is happening in the industry. Then we discussed about of GTM, go to market, because today, the competition is so much that, your idea alone is not sufficient. You have to market your application or a product take it to the market fast. Then we discussed one of the product called Jira, which is from Atlassian, used for project management. Any questions which you have? I shared this one with all of you guys yesterday. And Vishnu, I'll share it in some time with you. Any questions? Okay. Any questions, guys, online?
No, sir.
Okay, right. Then I consider you understand it well. Now let's start. Today, what we can do is, let us try to install JDK and we'll write a couple of programs with it. So, Java Development Kit. It's also called JDK. By default, whenever you get a machine, you get a different type of things, right? Whether it is a personal computer. Now, the personal computer can be either a laptop. Today, almost majority of the people are buying. But still, in the colleges or in certain places, workspaces, you will have a desktop applications. Then there is another one called all-in-one.
Sir, there's some noise.
Guys, can you please keep your voice on mute? I see Nishchil. Can you please go on mute? Yeah, thank you, guys. So, as I told you, you call it as PC, personal computer. Either it can be laptop, desktop, or an all-in-one, right? Whenever you get your system, by default, you will be having something called JRE installed in your machine. JRE installed in each Windows machine. Okay. JRE stands for Java Runtime Environment. So in majority of your systems, your personal computers, Java is installed, right? You need not to be a Java developer, but for few of the applications to run in your machine, JRE will be installed. Okay. So now what we can try to do is we want to become a developer, especially using Java programming language. We want to be a Java developer. For that, we have to install JDK in our machine. So currently in my machine, I have deleted all the existing Java development kits. And now what I'll try to do is I'll show you how you can check whether you have a JDK or a JRA installed in your machine. And if it is there, how you set up a path. If it is not there, how you can install and set up a path, right? So open a command prompt using Windows R. I'm giving CMD, right? Here, you can check for simply type Java, right? You can see here, Java is not recognized as an internal or external command. That means Java is not there. I'll try to give Java C. It is called Java compiler. Now even Java C is also not recognized as an internal or external command. Right guys, that means Java is not there in my machine. You guys can check it out by pressing Windows R or press a Windows button and type command COMMAND. Okay, both will help you to open a command prompt. Guys, this is called CLI. This is called CLI. What is CLI stands for is command line interface. Right? It's called command line interface. Currently, I'm typing all my code here, right? I mean to say all the notes here, right? Using a notepad, I'm able to see this one, right? This is called GUI. Your Windows is nothing but a GUI, graphical user interface application, graphical user interface, right? Whenever you are using command prompt, you should give a commands which can understood by your DOS. Here we are using Microsoft Windows 1. This is called DOS operating system. Okay. DOS stands for disk operating system. Disk operating system, right? Initial days people use this one. Let's say I'm in C colon user Shyam Kakumani. I want to know what are the files and folders are there in this location. I'll give a dir. dir stands for disk information report. Now this has given me the kind of files and folders available here. See here, dir stands for directory. When it is not directory, it is a file, .bash history, and in between you can see different another files also. Let's say get pip.py, hello.java. So this is a command line interface. If you are using a similar command line interface in Linux, you will give ls for listing. But with Windows, it is called disk operating system. You will give it as a dir. If you want to clear the screen, simply give clear. Right? Now you clear the screen. What we want to do here is, sometime back, as I showed you, type Java or Java C. If Java is working in your machine, that means you have that JRE is installed in your machine. If Java C is working in your machine, then JDK is installed. You can write a Java code and you can execute it, the code. Now I would like to exit these windows. The reason is simple. Anytime you have installed any software, the existing windows will not take effect of that software. You have to reopen it to take the effect of the recently installed softwares. So in my desktop, I have JDK 17, which I have told you guys to install yesterday. I'm just double clicking this one. While it is getting installed, I'll help you to understand where you will get this software. So I say yes. Guys, it will take a couple of minutes. See here, welcome to the installation wizard of Java SE development. Guys, if you understand here, it is called Java SE. SE stands for Standard Edition. Okay. Your core Java or a normal Java is called Java SE, Java Standard Edition. When you go for an advanced one, it is called Java EE, Java Enterprise Edition, right? So the underlying programming language is Java, but you have additional frameworks, right? So I'm clicking on next. I'll go back one step. Here you guys can see this wizard will guide you through the installation process for the Java SE development kit. This is what called, I'm saying JDK, Java Standard Edition Development Kit. We simply call it as JDK, Java Development Kit. So the version is 17.0.77. Click on next. Then it will show you by default where it is going to install in your machine. Keep it as default because program files is the location where majority of our softwares will get installed. Let it be there. Click on next. And it will take a couple of minutes. Meanwhile, I'll show you where you can download it. I open my Chrome browser. I go to a new tab here, download JDK 17. See, Oracle is the one. First of all, Java is introduced by a company called Sun Microsystems. Java is introduced by a company called Sun Microsystems, but it is acquired by. So Sun Microsystems is acquired by Oracle. If I remember correctly, let us check here. See here, Sun Microsystems. Acquired date by Oracle. I don't remember exactly. Yeah, if you see here, 2010, they have acquired. So I'm writing here, Sun Microsystem is acquired by Oracle in 2010. So starting from 2010, Oracle is maintaining, it is developing the Java software. Now, once you search for download JDK 17, you can see here Oracle website and click on this Oracle website. Then you can see Java 17 archive downloads. Why they say archive downloads is the current version is different. That's the reason they have a different versions for different operating systems. The major operating systems today are 3. Operating systems there are 3 operating systems. The one which we are using is Windows, maybe with different versions, Windows 7, Windows 10, Windows 11, and Linux, then Macintosh. It's called Mac also. There are a few more flavors, but these are the major ones people are using. That's the reason you can see here, Linux, Mac OS, it is called Macintosh OS, then Windows, right? You can pick up, my suggestion is you can pick up the x64 installer, then you can download it. See the executable file, you always take it up. Okay, this is what I have it here, which is Windows JDK 17.0.7. So I go here, you can see here, Java SE development kit successfully installed. Click next steps to access tutorials, API documentation, developer guides, release notes, and more to help you get started with JDK. All of you, please click on this for sure to understand. It will open a website for you for your further reference. This is the official documentation for you, right? I click on next steps. Let's see, it should open a browser, right? My Opera is the default browser for any of the applications to open. I go back to my installation. I click on close. Right? Now my JDK is installed. We will check whether JDK is installed, how you check the path, and how do we write a program. Right, guys? If you see here, when I click on next steps, it has given us the documentation related to JDK 17. This is your primary information for you to when you are learning the any of the technology. Lot of times we ignore this. This is like a user guide or a user manual. For example, you bought a mobile. With that one, they will give you user guide. Majority of the time we ignore it. We don't see because we know how to use it. But if you go through it, you will get some additional information how to use it effectively. Same with your any sort of item which you buy, any product you buy, you will get a documentation. This is exactly being a developer, how you can effectively develop the applications. This will help you out. So JDK 17 documentation. I'm copying this one for your reference and I'll keep it as part of the our notes. Right, guys? Are you clear as of now?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Okay. So let's move on. Now, what I want to do is I want to open a command prompt and check whether Java is installed or not. I open Windows R again and command. I'll give Java. If you see here, now there is some information it is showing for me. Right? Then I'll clear the screen and I'll give Java C. Now, if you see, it is giving both for me. Java is for execution of your Java program. Java C is for compiling of your Java program. Right? I clear the screen again. Now, how do we know what all are installed and where it is located? We are already aware it is installed in C: program files. I go for Windows E, Windows Explorer. I go to the C: program files. There is Java folder should be there. Yes, you can see here Java folder. And in this one, there is a JDK 17 is installed. Right? These all are the supported files required for your JDK to execute. Now, imagine you have Java 17 and you're working in another project, Java 8 is also required. For example, two versions you require. At that time, you should be knowing about of how to set the path. Okay, I'll show you how you can set the path. Post that, we'll try to write a program and understand how to write and execute a program. I go to I click on Windows. I type environment variables. Environment variables. If you see here, it is showing that edit the system and environment variables. I'm clicking on this one. Now here you will see a window called system properties. In the bottom, you can see a button called, I'm canceling here, environment variables. Click on this button. This is where any sort of software you installed, the path is set by default. Okay. So just now we have installed JDK. You go to the system variables and click on path and click on edit. Now you can see here on the top one, the highlighted one by default, C: program files, common files, Oracle, Java, Java path. I want to open this folder and see what is there. I just double click on this one. Now it's highlighted. I copy this and Windows R and I'm pasting this location and say enter. If you see here, there are 4 items are there. Java, Java C, Java W and JShell. Right? What does it has done is it has not set the path completely, but it has taken few files and kept it over there and it is referring in the path. But ideally, this is not correct. For example, I go to Windows R command, J console I want to use. JCONSOLE. It's saying that JConsole is not recognized as a, any of the command. So what I want to do is, I want to do one small thing. I don't want to give this path, but I want to give the path where my software is installed. Where is my software is installed? It is in C:/JDK7. What I do is simply, go to the bin. Bin stands for binary. Here I have a J console. If you see here, JCON. Do you see this one, J console? This is in this location. What I want to do is, I copy this path. I click on my, this location, which is a address bar. I copy this. I go to my environment variables. I don't want to use the default path. I delete this. And I click on new. I paste it here. Say okay, okay, okay. Now this time, the existing command prompts will not take an effect. We have to close all the existing command prompts and we have to open new one. I say exit. I'm opening a new command prompt, Windows R, CMD. I want to check Java, Java C, and additionally, I want to go for J console, right? I'll type Java. Java is working. I'm clearing the screen. Java C. Java compiler is working. I'm clearing the screen. Now J console, I'm calling. Now you see, the moment I click on J console, a J console is opened up. Are you able to see this one? Sometime back, it was not recognized as a internal or external command. This is what is a path setup. Whenever JDK is getting installed, by default, it will set up some path, but it doesn't have all the required files for you to be a full-fledged developer and execute all the required applications. Guys, are you clear online?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay, perfect. So what did we do? We did two things. I already have a downloaded version of JDK 17, which is there in my desktop. I double clicked it and completed the execution. On the last step, before I close, I click on next steps. That's where it showed me the documentation. This documentation also I copied and kept in the as part of a notes. Then I want to check whether the Java and JavaC is working. Yes, those were working, but J console is not working. The reason is it has set up in the path only few of the application files. What did I do? There is something called environment variables. I opened that environment variables. I went and set up a path where my JDK is installed and where my bin folder is there. It is called binary folder. Now you can see it got so many utilities which you can use. Jmod, Jmop, JPS, JRunScript, JStack, JStatD. There are a lot many things, right? We can execute each one of them and we know each one is given for a purpose. We will see few of the important ones in later point of time. Now moving on, I close this installation folder. I would like to close even this documentation also because we are not going through the documentation at this point of time. Now you can see here, J console I have opened just for testing to set up the path. So I cancel it and close this window. And I have the command prompt here. All I want to do is, I want to create a program, a simple Java program, and I want to execute it. Just to see the glimpse of how JDK works, how to run a program, how to write and run a program. Okay. So for that, what we can do is, we can create a folder in one of the directory. Okay. So what directive we can use is, I suggest always don't use C:, because if your system gets crashed, the data in the C: will go off. I would like to create a folder in D:, that is a D drive. I open Windows E, Windows Explorer. I go to the D:. there are so many things. What I want to do is I want to create a folder, right click, new folder, explore Java, EXPLORE Java. This is the folder I want to have my Java file, which I'm going to write it, right? So if I want to write a program, I need to have a text notepad. I will open a notepad, Windows, we already have a notepad here, right? I have a notepad here. If I give Control N, new tab will open. Here, I'm going to write the program, a simple Java program. So I will write a class named greetings, and this is called opening brace and closing brace. This is called flower braces. Okay. So whenever you're writing a programming, you will use a flower braces for flower braces. In between this, you will write a code. Flower braces. In between this, you will write a code. I open flower braces. I return a class greetings. Guys, this is all case sensitive. When you're doing, use it as it is. Later point of time, you can understand. I'll help you out. What is a case sensitive? What all are case sensitive? How you can use all of them. So I'm writing a class. Class name is greetings. And I will write a method called public static void main. If you see, all are small characters. And I'm using this as parenthesis. For every method, we'll have something called parenthesis. So flower basis is like this. Parenthesis is your regular brackets. Then you go back here and I'm opening and closing the method. Okay. Every method, which is the execution, the starting method, you should have the syntax of public static void main, and it will take some string array as values. We call it as arguments. Okay, I'm canceling this. Now, this is where your execution starts. Like how, if you have a house, for you to enter into a house, how you have a main entrance, this is exactly the same. Even though you have number of methods, the starting point execution will be from the main method. This is the syntax for main method. All small characters, public space, static space, void space main, and it may take certain values, right? We will pass values also, and we will see on the next one. First, we will see is a static message printed on our console. Then in the second program, we will pass our name and see how it is. See, let's say here, I'm writing this system.out.println. This might be few people are already aware. It might be new for few of you people. Okay, don't worry. I'll help you out to understand every bits and pieces of the programming. Okay, first we'll try to write it, execute it and see the result. Then we'll ideally write our programs using the IDEs. You never use a notepads. But before you go to the IDEs, you should understand what is the challenges with the notepads, how you can write a programs. So that's where my first program will be always using the notepad. Here, let's say, welcome to Java, right? Now, I have written my program. I completed my program. I want to save this one, execute it, come back and explain you one more time. I'm going to save, file, save. Where I want to save? I want to save in the folder where I created some time back, which is on D colon. D, here, explore Java I have created, EX I gave. This is the explore Java. I'm opening this folder. In this one, I want to give a file name as greetings.java. And when you're giving .java, that is a not text extension, any other extensions, you have to give in the quotes in the starting and ending. Greetings.java. I click on save. Now, if you observe in the folder which I created explore.java, you have a greetings and the file type is Java file. And you can see the size is 1 KB, right? I have written my program using the notepad. Now I want to execute the program. If I want to execute the program, I have to be in that specific location to execute the program. For that, let me close this folder. I can do it in multiple ways. I go to this specific folder. See here, there is a d:\explore Java. Directly click on the address bar and type cmd. Now your command prompt will open on the address bar, whatever is there in that location. This is the easiest way. I'll show you the another way. I'll exit this one. I open a command prompt, which is Windows R. I type cmd. When you give normally cmd, it will directly go to the C:\users and the user you log in the system. Let's say in your system, multiple users are there. Let's say you have given a guest and your name, let's say your siblings or anybody, you will have a different accounts and you will have a different UI, desktops. Now here by default, I'm the only guy using this machine, C:\user Shyam Kakuman, it came. It did not come on the D:. If I want to go to the D drive, I have to do D enter. Now I'm in the D drive. From here, I want to go to the explore Java. Then I have to use the DOS command called cd. cd stands for change directory. And I have to give a folder name, expl. If you give three, 4 characters and give a tab, it will autofill. Say enter. If you observe this, we did 2-3 steps. Instead of that one, in the address bar, simply type cmd, it will open up. Okay. Now, I will write these 2 commands here. The couple of commands which we are talking about of, right? DOS commands. First, we understand dir, right? It's called disk information report. Next, we have given cd, change directory. Then we have given clear. This clears the screen. Correct? That's what is the DOS commands we have used as of now. Now, I am in the location where my files are there. What I'll do is first I'll check whether my file is located here or not. I'll simply give dir, disk information report. Now you can see here, my file name is here, greetings.java. Okay. And it will clearly give us how many files folders are there, right? There is only one files and one directory, that is explore directory. Now I will give a command for compilation. I have to use Java C. Java C stands for Java compiler, and I'm giving space. I have to give a file name. I give GRE. I tab it automatically. It will fill the complete file. Then I'm giving enter. Now, if you observe here, because I have written the complete code in a correct manner, there is no errors. In case if you have written uppercase characters, lowercase characters, and names are not correct, you may see certain errors. Right? That's the reason I told you first follow as it is. Later I'll explain you what all are the casing. I mean to say lowercase, uppercase, where you use what you use. Now, if I give dir, now you can see there is one more file got generated. Do you see here greeting.class? Sometime back, I have only greetings.java. Now I have a greetings.class. Let us see in the directory also. I go Alter tab. Do you see here? There is a greetings.class. So Java is a two-phase programming language. Java is two-phase programming language. The first one is compilation. The second one is execution. What we did is compilation. Java C and giving a Java file name is called compilation. And now I want to execute it. I'll go here, Java space. I can simply give greetings. If I give greet, see, I don't require even a class. I had to remove the class. By default, it takes only the class file. When I enter it, it will show me the printing of the value what I have given in my program, which is welcome to Java. I'll open the program. This is what we have given, right? Welcome to Java. It is the simplest program which we have written for now. Right, guys? Understood all of you?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So I'll repeat one more time. What did I do? Things first is I went and created a class using first I open a notepad. In the notepad, I have written this program and I have saved it in a folder named which I have created called Explore Java. In this one, I created as greetings.java. When you are saving, remember you have to give it double quotes because you are using a different extension, the .java file. You have to give it double quotes when you're saving. Now my file is here. Now I go to the command prompt. I have to execute that file. How do I execute? First, I have to compile. That's where, as I mentioned, it is a two-phase system. One is compilation, second one is execution. For compilation, you will use Java C and the complete file name. Here, complete file name with extension. Complete file name is nothing but with extension. With extension. What is the extension? .java. Here, for execution, you simply give a Java space file name. Right? You need not to give any extensions because there is a, it will automatically pick up the dot class file. Now let's try to open and see what's there in the dot class file. See here, greeting.class, right click, open with notepad. Do we understand anything here? This is the code which Java C, which is a compiler, has converted into. Your compiler, see what happens is first we have written a Java file, which is human readable. We have written, right? And we know each word and all, right? And it is a syntax according to the Java. Now, when we say Java C and give a file name, it is compiled. If you understand few things which you can understand, which is first things we don't understand after the Java lang object. Did we mention anywhere object at all in our file? No. Then even we did not have a init also, we didn't mention somewhere. What we have is public static void main and the message what we want to give. That is welcome to Java. After that, you can see Java lang system out Java IO print string. We have given system.out.println, but we did not give anything called print string, right? Correct? This is the message we are giving, welcome to Java. And in bottom, you can see there is some question mark. There is a println, L Java lang string, okay, B, greetings code in line number table main, correct? This is understood by your JVM. It's not readable by humans. Because it's a small program, you can see only limited, whatever is a compiled code. If you have a big file, multiple methods, variables and all, you'll have so much of code where you will not understand this at all. This can be understood by something called a JVM. Right, guys? So Java is a two-phase programming language. One is compilation, another one is execution. Right? Okay. Now, in this program, what we have the code is hard-coded value. We are just printing welcome to Java. Correct? This is hard-coded. Let's say you want to give the input as welcome your name. Or you want to give whatever name you pass, it should show you that. Right? Let us try to write one more program and I will add it because of instead of modifying this itself, we'll write one more program. Okay, guys? I'll go for control N, which is a new file. I'll write one more class. Okay. user greetings. That means we are going to greet the users. User greetings. Or else let's say I'll give it as another name, greet user. Greet user. And this is my class name is called greet user. Here I will write a public static void main. It takes string array. You can say arguments or any name you can give, whatever is the name you want. I can give it as arguments, right? Or a values or a. Now what I want to do is I want to say system dot out dot println. This one I want to say hello and one quote. Now I want to take in arguments which we pass. So I'll take these arguments and I'm appending. Appending can be used. Appending can be done using the plus symbol. I'm giving arguments square brackets 0. See, it is, you can pass multiple values. That's where it is called string array. More than one value can be held using arrays, right? That's where I'm using string arrays. Either this can be like this, string arrays like this, or arguments like this, guys. See here for timing, I'll keep it like this. And arguments of 0. That is a first argument. Okay. Now I'll execute this one. I'll show you one more time. I'll explain one more time about of how this works. I'm taking out extra space. Now Control S. Now it opens in the same Explore Java folder. Here I want to go and use a name as greet user.java. And I told you have a double quotes in the starting and ending to take the extension. Greet user. I click on save. Now this file is saved. Let us see in our folder. There is a new file created, greet user, right? Now what I want to do is I want to compile it and I want to execute it, right? I already opened a command prompt here. Let me clear the screen first. Now I want to give dir. Now you can see there is total 3 files. One is greetings.class, greetings.java, and greetuser.java. We are interested in greetuser.java. Let me compile it. Java C space GRE. Now it is greeting.class. No, I don't want this. Again, I'm giving a tab. It will go to the greetings.java. No, I don't want this. I'm giving tab again, greetuser.java. This is what I want to compile. I say enter. Now you can see as I have written the program well, there's no errors. If I give dir, now you can see here greet user.class is generated. And we can see the same from the folder also. See here, there is a greet user.class is generated. You can see here it is 8:24 a.m. Now I want to execute this program. I'll go here and simply say, first let me clear the screen. Java space greet user. Now we see here, it is giving me an exception saying that array index out of bound exception. The reason is very simple. You are expecting some input your program arguments of 0, which you are not passing. That's where you pass the arguments, it will satisfy the condition. Greet user, I'm giving Shyam. Now you can see the output as hello Shyam. Because it is expecting an input like this, it can be any value. When it is not there, it is expecting an array and it is telling that index is 0 out of bound exception. I'm expecting an input from you, you are not giving. That's what it is. Even you can give more, but it will pick up only one. Let's say I'm giving Shyam Kakumani. It is literally 2 values I'm giving. But in my program, I have used arguments 0 only. It will pick up only the first one. Second one, it will ignore. Right? Now I'll go here and I'll give another name. Let's say Ignite Tech. Now you can see here, hello Ignite Tech. Right? This is how you can give the input to your program. That is where your string array is taken, the main method. In the main method, always it can expect input. If it is there, you can give it. If you are not giving it, it's also not a problem. Take an example, you go to a bank. Day one, first day of a bank, you will not have any amount and all. But second day of the bank, you have a balance sheet, right? Let's say there is some amount will be there, right? From the previous day, right? You have to start with it, right? Every day, we will not start from fresh, right? We carry yesterday's stuff to today's. That's how it works everywhere. So for any program, you want to take any input, this is the way that you can give it using string arguments. Why it is only string arguments? Because you're passing from a command prompts, even you can pass the numbers also, you have to convert later inside. Guys, are you clear what we're talking about of?
Sir, can you explain string arguments again?
Say again, you want me to explain one more time?
Yes.
Yes, absolutely. See, what happens is, in our first program, greetings, we are just printing the value welcome Java, welcome to Java. You execute this 1,000 times, you will get only this output. Right? Now, what we want to do is, we want to give a dynamism to our program where it can take an input from the user. Who is the user? We are the one. For that reason, you can pass the values to the program using string arguments. It is a default syntax. Wherever you see a Java program, your execution starts from public static void main, and it starts executing the number of lines which we have. Now, imagine you want to pass two values, which is your first name and last name. What I can do here is, I'll give it as a help system.out.println. I'll say first name, and I want to have a second name also, system.out.println. I want to give it as a second is last name, my last name, right? This is first name, and I want to give it as a last name. Now here, what I want to do is, I will go for this arguments. In this arguments is a input to my program. I'll go here, I'll give these arguments, and I'll give the first one. See guys, how arrays will work is, let's say I have 5 elements. Take an example. I have 5 elements. Take an example of cities. Let's say Bangalore, Chennai, Delhi. Now, how this works is, it is element 1, element 2, element 3. But if I want to access the index through index, I will access. It is 0, 1, and 2. This is the only thing which we need to remember as part of arrays, right? A array have 3 elements, which is 3 cities called Bangalore, Chennai, and Delhi, which is element 1, 2, 3. But if you want to get element 2, which is Chennai, you need to pass element the index of 0. Okay, I'll show you programmatically. Let me go back here. Sometime back, you see there is a Java lang array index out of bound exception. What happens is, it starts from the index 0, which picks up the element 1. So your element 1 is accessed through array of 0. That is called index. This is the only thing we need to remember as part of your arrays. The same applies for the collections frameworks also. I'll repeat, element can be 3 elements, but when you want to access the elements, you have to have a starts from 0. The last element can be accessed, the element count minus 1, which is 3 minus 1, which is 2. Okay. If you see here, index 0 out of bound exception, Now, let me give the input over here. Let me complete my program and I'll show you. See here in the program, what I want to do here is, I want to take a argument of 0, which is nothing but the first value, argument of 1, which is the second value. Now, once I'm done with it, guys, remember you have to compile every time you change a code, right? If I go here and give Ignite Tech Bangalore, it will not work because the compiled code is different. Now I need to compile it again. So what I do is I do the clear. I give it up arrow. It will show me all the old commands. See here, what I want to do is I want to compile. Now I'm going up. This is what I want to compile again, which is Java C greet user.java. I say entered it. Now the compilation is done. This time, if I call the command with my name, let's say Java space greet user space Shyam space Kakumani. Now you can see here, my first name is Shyam, last name is Kakumani. If you observe here, I'm taking a argument of 0, which is nothing but Shyam, argument of 1, which is Kakumani. I passed two values after my program name. Right? Now, if I go here, greet user, I'll give it as Ignite Tech Bangalore. Now you can see here, the first name is Ignite Tech and last name is Bangalore. Imagine I'm not giving a second one. I'm not giving a first one also. Imagine I'm simply giving a greet user. Let me clear the screen and I'll show you. I'll clear the screen. Java greet user. Enter. Now, do you see array index out of bound exception? Let's say you go to a ATM without entering anything, you're expecting just pressing S. Right? You have to enter, for example, once your PIN is done, you want to enter an amount, right? If you don't enter an amount, it will say, please input your amount. Here, as we are not handling the exceptions, it is directly showing. In later sessions, we will do the exception handling. So now I'll go here, greet user. I'll give a name as, let's say, Pepi and enter. Now, do you see it was satisfied? Earlier error was different, right? Index 0 out of bounds for length 0. Now, the first parameter I have taken, it is happy. It is now telling the second one, index 1 out of 4, 1 out of bounds for length 1. And it is clearly mentioning me in which line. Earlier, the error was in line number 3, greet user.java, line number 3. My earlier error was, this is line number 3. Now, the current error is line number 4. See, this is the line number 4. If you take this is the first line, second line, third line, and this is the fourth line. Even you can observe here, wherever I kept the cursor in the bottom left corner, line number 5, column 54. This is the error which is showing. Now I go back here, P Infotech. Now it is satisfied and it is shown the output for us. Understood, guys?
Yes, sir.
Perfect. So now, guys, what did we do? As of now, we have written two programs. We have installed JDK. We have written we have set up the path. We have written couple of programs and we executed. Now tell me, with this one, you understood something, but you are not known completely, correct? Because what happens is, this is way small programs. And when you're writing a big programs or a projects, this is not how we write the code. We will not go and create the folders like ourselves, like Explore Java folder, and we go to the notepad and all. So what do we do is, we will not see, just to write one simple program, we have done three things. One is we went and created a folder somewhere, which is called Explore Java. Second is we opened a notepad to write our program. Third one, we opened a command prompt to execute our code, correct? Now, if you go for advanced applications, you will use bunch of more tools like your source control management, SCM. You will use servers. Now, what happens is you will open multiple windows. Instead of doing all of those things, there is something called IDE is there in the market. Okay, IDE. IDE stands for Integrated Development Environment. Right? Integrated development environment. So we understand a development environment. What is a development environment? You being a Java developer or a full stack developer, you require certain tools and technologies to be installed in your machine. That's called your development environment. Now we have installed JDK. Without JDK, you can't execute any of the programs, right? Try to execute any programs. Then what is this integrated? What is an integration? Any of you would like to throw a light on it? What is integration? You heard the name integrations anyway?
It's a combination of multiple tools.
Perfect. It's a combination of multiple tools together. Did you guys see the Swiss knife? Swiss utility? I'll just open that one. Swiss, I believe knife we call it as. Please, you might have seen this one, but you're not known about of this name, right? Yes, guys?
Yes.
How many of you seen this?
Yeah,
Majority of us
we
have
have-
seen, right?
Yeah.
Either few people have possessed it and few people might not have it actually. But if you observe this one, with this one thing, you can do multiple things, right? There is a knife, there is a scissor, there is a bottle opener, there is a cork opener, and you have few other things for a various purposes, right? You can think this as a IDE for developers. This is for your personal, let's say you are in travel. You can't carry so many items, right? This is easy for us to carry for small items which you want to do, right? Now, what is our IDE is, it is integration of your editor. What is the editor? Whichever you are able to edit, right? Which is your notepad is a editor, right? Now, your command line prompt. Command line prompt. That is Java C you are compiling and doing, right? Then you can do you have a SCM integrated, which is called source code management. Right? Then you have servers integrated. Servers. I'll just list out few. Tomcat, WebLogic. There are many. I'm just giving only two for our examples. Then you can have a different views. Okay. Like a package explorer, project explorer. And you can do something called debugging. Debugging. If you want to be a good developer, along with development, you should have a good debugging skills. Did you hear the name debugging as of now? I know few of you might have heard. Can anyone try to explain what is a debugging? Correct. Like if you are getting any errors, you have to find it out where is the error is occurring and why is the error is occurring. Correct? You should find a spot. Now, when you have written a big program, you give some input, you're expecting some output which is not correct. Then you need to figure it out where all the execution is happening. I need to say what is the flow. From there, if there is any issues, in which place it is happening, and you have to figure it out and you have to fix it. Correct? That's what is a debugging. So what you can do with the IDE is you can write a code as an editor You can execute the code like your command line prompt. Then you can debug the code. When we go further, now we are only Java SE, right? Java Standard Edition, which is core Java. Further, when you're developing a full-fledged applications for a Java full stack, you require servers to run it, right? All those can be integrated together. Okay, so debugging will take a major part after your development. When you get into companies, they won't give you a new project to develop from scratch. They'll ask you to fix some bugs, or they'll ask you to enhance some of the features of the existing project or product. Once they see your comfortness and you understood well, then they may further projects, if it is from scratch, they'll make you part of it. When you are understanding those projects, obviously you have to go with the debugging points to understand, to stop at certain points and understand what all are the things are happening, how the flow is happening and how the data is passing and how the execution is happening, right? So your IDE is the one which will help you to make your development faster, right? So the IDE which we are interested to use is called STS, which is Spring Tool Suite. This is based on, it is developed based on, it's based on Eclipse. What they did is, Eclipse is one of the famous IDE in Java community. They have taken that one. They have added certain features related to the Spring framework and they released it as STS, Spring Tools Suite. So what we'll do is, in the next session, we will install STS and we'll try to execute a program. Whatever is the current programs which we have written, we will see how you can create a project over there and how you can write these programs and execute. Okay, guys? So that's it for today. I'll quickly summarize a bit of what we learned. Okay, so we started with JDK. JDK stands for Java Development Kit. You being a Java developer, you have to install JDK. JDK comes with JRE and JRE comes with JVM. You have to be familiar with these names. JDK stands for Java Development Kit. JRE stands for Java Runtime Environment. What is runtime environment? For your program to get executed, you require an environment that is called a runtime environment. In a short form, you call it as JRE. JVM stands for Java Virtual Machine. Virtual Machine. Your Java Virtual Machine is the one actually executing your code. This is part of your JDK. JDK consists of JRE. JRE consists of JVM, right? JVM with few more libraries. For us, for time being, let us understand. As mentioned, JDK stands for Java Development Kit, which consists of Java Runtime Environment and which consists of JVM. As I mentioned you, if you are not a Java developer, by default in your machine, JRE might be installed. And when you type Java with a command prompt, you might see it is working. But Java C will not work for you because nobody will install JDK in your laptop by default. Okay. Then we understood personal computer. Personal computer has having various forms, which is a laptop or a desktop or an all-in-one system. Then JRE installed in each machine, as I mentioned. Then JRE stands for Java Runtime Environment. So let me move this one to the above here. Then we discussed a bit of CLI, which is called Command Line Interface. Every operating system from Windows comes as a GUI, Graphical User Interface, and comes with a command prompt. It is called DOS, Disk Operating System. See here, this is what is disk operating system. Then we understood what is a GUI because Windows is a graphical user interface. You can create files, folders, or anything using your mouse clicks and all. Then we understand Java is introduced by Sun Microsystems. Java is developed in Sun Microsystems, and Sun Microsystems is acquired by Oracle. Sun Microsystems is acquired by Oracle in 2010. Sun stands for Stanford University Network. Guys, majority of the softwares are developed from US. Sun stands for Stanford University Network. The people, few of the students who are studying over there has started this company called Sun. One of the founder is an Indian. I don't remember. I believe it is, his name is Vinod, right? So Sun stands for Stanford University Network. That's where they name it as Sun Microsystems. And it is acquired by Oracle in 2010. From there, Oracle is developing and maintaining the software. Then we understand different operating systems, because whenever you are downloading your JDK, the JDK will be downloaded according to the operating system which you are using. Let me go here and get the link also for JDK link for your reference. Let's say float here. How do I, yeah. Hide floating meeting controls. I go to the, see here, I'm copying this one. This is where from here you can download it according to your operating system. So for us, it's Windows. As I told you, better to choose a bin.exe. That is a binary, right? This is a preferred file, right? So majority of us are using Windows. That's where it is for Windows 1. You can pick it up. Then once your installation is complete, you can click, next steps, you can click on that one. It will open this link. Okay. You can refer to that one. Then when you're writing a program, first we have written a class. In the class after that, we have used a flower braces. I'll open the program here. You see here, we are opening the flower braces. This is the starting of the program. Then you have something called a parenthesis. After a method, you will have a parenthesis. Then we understood for executing the program, we open the command prompt, and we understand from command prompt, anytime when you install any of the new software, the opened windows or existing command prompts will not take an effect. What you have to do is you have to close the existing ones and you have to open the new ones to take an effect of recently installed softwares. Then we understood CD for change directory. We understood clear for clearing the screen. Then finally, we created a program, and when you execute it, first you have to do the compilation. That's where Java is called two-phase programming language. One is compilation, second one is execution. For you to compile, you have to give a Java C and a complete file name. I'll try to give a value also here. Java C, our file name is greetings.java. Right? When you want to execute it, all you have to do is Java and greetings. Because there is a dot class file is generated, dot class is you need not to give. By default, it will pick up the dot class file. Then it was printing a static value for us, but we want to pass a dynamic values to the program. That's where we are created one more Java program called greet user. This time I want to take an input to my program. That's where we are utilizing the inbuilt capability, which is a string arguments, by passing. First, we passed one value, and later for better understanding, we passed two values. That's where I explained you here. It is the how you access an array. So if you have three items, you call it as three elements, and each item can be accessed with the element number minus 1. If it is 1 minus 1, 0, 2 minus 1 is 1, 3 minus 1 is 2. If you want to access the second element, you have to call with the first index. So I'll try to write the syntax over here for a better clarity. Let's say I'm giving it as cities equal to Let's say I'm giving like this: Bangalore, Chennai, and Delhi. Right? Now, if I want to access cities, if I want to access Chennai, I'll give it as 1. This returns Chennai. Right? So this is how you can access it. In further classes, we will once we get into the arrays, we will see, will how to create it, how to add the values, all those things we'll understand. But knowingly or unknowingly, we got an exception, which is array index out of bound exception. If you observe here, array index out of bound exception, which we see here. Later, this can be used as part of our exception handling mechanism. Then developing and executing is a challenge because you have to open multiple windows. Instead of that, if all of them are together, it's very useful for us. That's where I give an example of Swiss knife, which got multiple tools together. Here, our IDE which we would like to use is a STS. It is called Spring Tool Suite, which is based on a famous open source IDE called Eclipse IDE. In tomorrow's session, we'll install STS and we'll try to execute these programs and we'll understand completely what all are the features and capabilities IDE is giving us. Also, we'll understand one more concept called color coding. Let me add here. After debugging, it's called color coding. What is a color coding is, in your notepad, you can write anything. It's only in the black color. It doesn't differentiate between your code. If you see here, it doesn't know this is a method, this is a class, or this is certain things. But whereas with IDEs, it can recognize your programming language. It will give a color coding in your IDE. So that is one more important point. Tomorrow, we'll see that one also. How does the color coding works in IDE? So that's it for today, guys. Any more questions? Any questions or any clarifications you'd like to have?
Sir, what is the, you did not differentiate between JRE and JDK?
Online guys?
Sir, I didn't, yeah, can you hear me?
Your voice is low. Can you please speak to me a bit louder?
Yeah, what about now?
What about?
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you now. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I was asking, sir, like, I did not understand what is the difference between JDK and JRE, right? Yeah.
Yeah. See, if you are okay, I'll give in a very simple terminology. If you have JRE, they will not have a Java C. Java C is used to compile your program, correct? So at this moment, you can think about of JDK is JRE plus a tool called Java C. That's it. If Java C is not there, you can't compile the program to execute. Okay, that much you understand. Then go and further explore what is the differences between JDK and JRE. Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, perfect, guys. So any more questions? Well, thank you. In case if you have any questions also, feel free to put across in the group also. We'll try to answer when we get a chance, right? So thank you, guys.
Thank you.